In this video, I'm going to show you how to optimize your build for the exotic Eye of Another World. So what this thing does is it basically gives about 2.5 tiers worth of a cooldown boost to your Rift, to your Grenade, and to your Melee. The only downside is that even though it boosts how fast you'll get your Rift, it doesn't actually give you the other benefits of having recovery that would be equivalent to that. So if you want to still have your health recover faster naturally because of having a high recovery stat, you'll still need to have a lot of recovery. But your Rift will still cool down faster. In fact, I Have Another World, it will boost your stats past tier 10 on any of them if you boost it up high enough yourself. And there's this really cool chart that somebody made on Reddit, and I'll link that below. It shows all the different tiers of grenades and their cooldowns and their benefits with or without Eye of Another World. This right here isn't super optimized right now because I was messing around and building a few things, but I'm going to show you how to build your own Eye of Another World build right now and what we want to put the stats into. So hopefully by now you're familiar with Destiny Item Manager, but if you're not familiar with D2 Armor Picker, you really should get familiar with it. It is an amazing tool, and it's gonna help us get exactly what we want. So first in here, we're gonna click on Warlock. We're gonna put all these stats down to 0, and we are going to choose Eye of Another World over here. That's the exotic we want it to try to build with. Down here, you can even choose crazy stuff like Artificer mods, the Iron Banner perk, raid mods. You can get really specific. It's so crazy. Down here, you can also choose the Charged with Light mods that boost skills or take away skills so that you can really fine tune how much stats you're gonna get. And if you're using Stasis, and once Void 3.0 comes out, which is just a day or so away, or by the time you're watching this, it's probably already out, and they will have updated the website within the first week, and you'll be able to do this for Void as well. Now down here we have some more important settings. You can tell it to assume that all of your legendary items are masterworked. You can also tell it to assume the exotics are masterworked and to assume that the class item is masterworked. I usually just do all of this anyways because I usually have a bunch of materials. So I know that I'm gonna masterwork it if this is exactly the build I want and it's gonna be that maximized. But if you don't want to assume that your exotics are masterwork, maybe you don't want to spend 3, you can just always click that, turn it off, and then you can figure out how to make a good build without spending 3 Ascendant Shards on 1 armor piece. All right, down here in this section of the screen in the middle, it's going to show us our 6 stats. It's going to show us how many tiers of stats total it has in this. It's going to tell us how many are wasted and how many mods it's using. Our goal here is to get as many stats as we can, and I think we're gonna best be able to do that if we put discipline and strength at 60. And on top of this, we're definitely gonna want at least 80 recovery. Most builds I'm using 9 or 10 recovery. Or 9 or 10 tiers. I'm using nearly max, basically, but we wanna see what else we can get. If you're playing in the Crucible or you're playing in high-end PvE content, there is a benefit of having up to 60 resilience, and that is that in the Crucible, it causes aggressive shotguns to need 1 extra pellet in order to kill you with 1 shot. And in Grandmaster Nightfalls and really high-end Nightfalls, it prevents you from getting 1 shot by a sniper as long as the sniper's element isn't also boosted. Otherwise, you'll still need sniper resist to prevent yourself from getting 1 shot by that. Now, the other thing I really want to do, even though Intellect sucks now, is I want to get as much Intellect as possible without actually going to tier 10, because the difference between 9 and 10 is 4 to 6 seconds. It's not a big deal, and it's a whole entire mod. So we're gonna just choose 90. And then from here, before I max out all of these, I usually like to go over here to the tiers section, and I like to sort it until I can see how many maximum tiers I can get. And this one is showing me the max that I can get, 41. Now, what's crazy here is this is without us using stasis. So with the armor that I have in my vault and everything this is analyzed, I can click this drop down and I can have it equip these items literally on my character right now. And then I could go ahead and masterwork these if I wanted to make this build right now. But let's say I don't want to masterwork anything. We'll go back over here. We'll say only used already masterworked items. And then we're going to have to go up here and we're going to have to turn some stats down to see what we can do. And let's say we actually don't care about resilience. We want to just get more and more abilities. What can we get to? So this is the only build that I can get all of these stats in. And with me reaching 80 discipline, what that really is with Eye of Another World is basically almost tier 10. Like it's just a sliver off from tier 10. And with my strength at 6, it's just like being at about tier 9.5. All of that while also having a tier 9 intellect cooldown and max recovery. Pretty insane. One thing to not forget here is this is showing you which mods you need to use. So I've already got my masterworked items here and it's telling me that I just need to put in 5 intellect mods on. So I have to use an intellect mod, a full power one on all 5 armor pieces in order to reach this. Outside of using Eye of Another World, I would honestly highly recommend not going above 50 intellect. And if you want to know why, you can go ahead and click this video right here where I talk about it.